Chosen vessels, what's the deal? It's your main man Druuill, and I'm back at you again with another video. Shout out to the Galactic family. Salute to Drew Nation and the GCVs. I need everybody to hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get right into it. Look, narcissistic, covert narcissistic chumps are two-faced cowards who will try to gaslight their way out of telling the truth about their treatment towards you. All right. Covert narcissistic chumps. People who do things in a covert manner are people who try to do things discreetly. So the reason why people are chumps is because they can't openly, outwardly do anything to you. What they have to do is they have to do it discreetly. They have to do it in a way to where it seems like they're not doing anything. And the reason why they're a chump is because they won't actually tell you that they have a problem with you. They won't actually step to you. These are people who just will basically will try to antagonize you and try to basically just get your attention like a child. So necessarily you're dealing with a person who has the mind of a toddler, a fifth grader, fourth grader, third grader. No offense to any children out there because they're the future and covert narcissists are definitely the past. So these people are just, they're going to do anything to where they can try to get underneath your skin and cause you to react. All right. They want to ruin your day. These people are unhappy throughout the day. They look for people whom they could bring and incorporate in their misery. All right. These people are really unhappy. They tend to try to destroy the happiness that they see in others. Right. But they have problems with people, but they will never solve the problem that they have with themselves. So the reason why they have problems with other people is because they have so many problems with themselves that they'll never solve, or they'll never hold themselves accountable for or take care of. All right, these are people who just like to sweep their issues under the rug and cause other people to be the brunt of their problems. So they like to take out how they feel on other people, and this is why it's important to set boundaries. All right, once you start setting boundaries, you'll be able to stop these people. All right, they'll have to go find somebody else. They'll have to come up with something different. They'll be less likely to try you. All right, because all it is them trying to attack you because maybe you've been trying to ignore it. Maybe you've been trying to let things go. When people keep trying to bother you and when people keep trying to do things, even if they're acting like they're not doing it, but you're trying to ignore it because you just don't want to cause a problem. You may be not as confrontational. All right, you may avoid confrontation. All right, a lot of empaths, they avoid confrontation, but you don't have to be afraid of confrontation. All right, you don't have to avoid confrontation. It's nothing to be afraid of. So what you do is you approach these people. All right, when you have people who are being covertly narcissistic, you could approach them, you could step to them, you could tell them about themselves in a way to where you don't get yourselves in trouble. And usually that will stop it in most cases. That will make these people fall back. All right, because a lot of times these people, they just need some type of instruction on how they're going to deal with you. You've been trying to ignore them. You haven't been dealing with them. So now they've taken upon themselves to act on that. Oh, this person isn't doing anything. Oh, I could just walk all over this person. Oh, I could just continue my behavior with this person. But they may not realize that's you trying to be peaceful. So what they don't realize is that they're, like somebody put in the comment section the other day, they're poking the bear. And you can only poke the bear so much before the bear claws your face off. All right. So it's best to, like we all say and like we all do, especially just leave people alone. But sometimes you're going to have to present a different version of yourself to people to accomplish that goal. All right. You can't get somebody to leave you alone like you're about to walk up to your grandma and give her a hug and thank her for bringing the sweet potato pie over for Thanksgiving. That's not how you can get that situation taken care of. All right. You can't handle situations like Ned Flanders every time. All right, you can't handle a situation like Ned Flanders every time. All right, so not to say you're handling situations like Ned Flanders, but he's the first peaceful person that popped in mind. All right, whether it's Jesus or the Dalai Lama or however, whatever point of reference you want to use. All right, mine of course will be Christ, but you have to deal with people in a way that lets them know that, okay, I need to leave this person alone. And for a long time you may have thought that you couldn't avoid getting in trouble without doing that. Maybe you were too emotional, maybe you put too much feeling into it. All right, maybe you the type of person that go from 0 to 100 real quick, so your conflict resolution skills were slim to none. Maybe you were ready to scrap instead of maybe maybe the way that you react is you're ready to scrap. All right, maybe you're not the type of person that would think things through. Maybe you're the type of person that is ready to take off a shoe. All right, maybe you're ready to put your foot in somebody's behind. But the thing is, when you get into it with people like this, it's not going to be worth your time. And a lot of these people, they just like to put on a show. All right, a lot of these people, they get into fights and they get beat up. All right, a lot of these people have a history of getting beat up. All right, they have a history of bothering people. They have a history of not leaving people alone, and they have a history of people just wrecking them and checking them. So a lot of people, unfortunately, they don't learn their lesson. So that is another thing you're dealing with as well. You will honestly be dealing with a lot of grown people who just don't get it. They just fail to learn their lesson. No matter how many times people hit them upside the head, no matter how many times people beat them up or whatever, it's like this person is constantly trying to come up off of a L that they had back in the day or something like that, that they just can't let go. So now they try to find people who they see as a victim, or somebody that they think is somebody that they think that they could punk or control or bully, and it just does not go well with them or for them. All right, so you can ignore these people most of the time, but when when you'll know when you can't ignore somebody. All right, when a person doesn't let you ignore them, that's when you can no longer ignore them. When somebody's acting stupid and they just let you go about your business, like, okay, this person's acting stupid, but they're not taking it any further than that, I could just ignore them and keep it pushing. When you have people that will try to invade your space, people who will try to basically kind of like covertly, passive aggressively bully you, like people who are all up in your personal space, you like, yo, get out my personal space. You could check people. You don't have to just sit there and be quiet. You could say something to somebody without it being a problem. And if they want to make it a problem, you don't have to take it any further than that. All you got to do is get them to do what you need them to do. If that person wants to put on a show, or this person wants to act tough because somebody spoke to them or checked them about something, then that's on them. You don't have anything to do with that. A lot of people will use that as a response because you just checked them. So it's like they feel uncomfortable that somebody checked them because they're supposed to be big and bad. And the fact that you said something to them, if that may not happen a lot, or they may not see you as somebody that is supposed to be checking them or saying anything to them about their behavior towards you. Some people just view you as somebody that's just supposed to take how people treat you, and that's it. And this is why they will react like that sometimes, because they'll even find a problem with you standing up for yourself. Some people, they have an issue with you standing up for yourself. They really would rather you just be quiet, take however they want to treat you, and then just shut up, and then that be the end of it. But if it's not a perfect world for us, it's not going to be a perfect world for them. So a lot of these people are chumps. All right, they're cowards. They start with people who aren't bothering anybody. If that's not a coward move, I don't know what is. But a lot of these people, they don't have any sense. They don't understand that you're leaving people alone and staying to yourself because you ain't trying to go Super Saiyan on nobody. So a lot of people, they just don't have any sense. They like to test people. All right, a lot of people are goofy. All right, they just like to go up. They like to go up and test people until they fail that test. They realize that they didn't study properly. That was a test that was too much for them to bear. All right, they didn't have the intelligence to take or pass this test. All right, so These people have a real coward mindset. They bother people who aren't doing anything to them. They bother people who are quiet, who are chill, laid back, who are soft spoken. All right, these people are complete clowns. These people are complete clowns, and they like to push up on people and try to bother people that they think they could bully. So if they think they could bully you, if somebody is behaving to you like this, I'm here to let you know right now they got the wrong idea about you. All right, they think that they could treat you however they want. They think they could talk to you however they want, but they got the wrong idea about you. All right, you don't have to act like this with people who try to treat you like this. All right, you don't have to take this. So basically, you could either just tell them that they're not going to treat you like that, or you could just ignore them. And if they make it hard for you to ignore them, then you got to step to them and you just got to explain to them what you want done. It's easy. All right, you may have had an issue with this. It may have been a problem for you in the past, but it's real easy to communicate with people who are being confrontational. All right, you just look them dead in the eye and you tell them what's what, and that's really all it is. It's nothing to fear. You just look. You gotta look people in the eye, and you gotta tell them how you want them to basically how you want them to handle the situation. And if they're trying to handle the situation in a way that's not good for you, then they're just gonna have to be doing that. Whatever it is, they're gonna have to either do it by themselves. They're gonna have a personal problem with you, and that's okay too. Or like, I mean, people are just gonna have to just deal with you. All right, because you have to deal with people. You got to deal with their attitude. So if somebody doesn't like you and how you're carrying yourself, and you being defiant to them because this person is being a chump, then it is what it is. People are gonna complain and they're gonna throw temper tantrums because you're not doing what they want. All right, there are a lot of people who will act like they're tough and try to intimidate you into doing what they want, but you just sit there and just look at them. All right, and then like in a minute they'll cut it out. All right, if you look at them and just be like, yo, this person's acting like a child, like, don't be afraid of it. It's nothing to be afraid of. This person is just literally acting like a child, and this person is used to acting like this towards people and getting their way. So all you have to do is just not give in and not give them their way. A lot of people are used to just forcing people to do what they want with a negative attitude. And these people think their negative attitude is powerful enough and strong enough to make you act, make you change, put fear in you, and it's not. All right. You may have thought it was. You may have feared people like this because maybe somebody who raised you talked to you the same way. So you got some PTSD towards people who treat you like this. A lot of people know that people who are kind of like soft spoken and in their shell a little bit, they know that these people have like been abused some type of way, or they know that they have some type of issue to where they're not as strong setting boundaries, or they're not able to stand up for themselves as strong as somebody else. So this is why these people are cowards. And when you learn to stand up for yourself, and when you learn to stop letting people treat you however they want or talk to you however they want, then you just won't you won't have as many of these types of issues anymore. And it'll just be you standing up to people just like everybody else. And once you start standing up to people, you'll start to see that you have strength too, just like everybody else. A lot of times people don't stand up to people is because they see something in others that they don't see in themselves. You see other people as being strong and tough and having something that you don't. And that's because a lot of people didn't want you to have that confidence in yourself. They didn't want you to think that you had that in you, but you do. All right, a lot of people might have tried to act tough with you early on, and that might have fooled you into thinking that you didn't have what it takes. All right, and a lot of people will like take fear with them throughout the rest of their life. Like a lot of people have traumatic experiences when they're younger, and they take those through with them throughout the rest of their life. Like if you didn't fix your fear problems as a child, then you're still going to have fear problems as an adult. If you didn't fix like setting boundaries and standing up for yourself and speaking up for yourself, if you didn't fix that early on, those types of issues just don't go away. And unfortunately, in a perfect world, people who deal with these kinds of things would just leave you alone. But unfortunately, you have people out here who see people that need to work on themselves as weak, and they want to walk all over you, and they want to treat you how they feel that they can treat you, because whatever you let people get over on you, they will. So all you have to do is just not let people get things over on you. It may make you feel uncomfortable, but sooner or later, you're going to have to start speaking up for yourself, and you're going to have to start standing up for yourself and letting people know how they are going to treat you. You got to teach people. Somebody thinks they're going to get something over on you. No, you're not going to get this over on me. You're going to have to go do it, or you're going to get somebody else to do it, or you're not going to talk to me this way and have me do it, because if you talk to me that way, I'm either going to leave or it's just not going to get done. Or if you talk to me this way, then I'm going to go no contact, and I'm cutting the family tie with you. I'm cutting this relationship with you. I'm not going to do, if you continue to talk to me this way, I'm not going to deal with you anymore. See, this is where this starts. This is where this stuff starts from. You're living with people, and you're a confused young person, and people are talking to you any type of way that they want, and you're disregarding it and looking over it and not doing anything about it because you're a child. And then if you continue to let things slide and things pass like that as you grow up, just because you turn into an adult doesn't mean things are going to get better for you. That person that is still in you that was in that child. So if you're underdeveloped and you haven't worked on yourself, you haven't built up yourself to where you're confident enough or have the courage enough to stand up or speak up for yourself, or tell people that when they're treating you wrong or messed up, you're not going to stand for that, or they have to go treat somebody else like that, or whatever you got to say. I know this stuff sounds corny or whatever. You're not going to treat me any type of way, but whatever you got to say to these people to just get people to treat you however you want them to treat you. Because the main thing is this: people are basically trying to get points off of you, like little life points off of treating you however they want. And it makes people look at you a certain way when you let people talk to you however they want. Then because everybody thinks they could talk to you that way. And then number two, people will just think that, oh, this person don't stand up for themselves. This person is soft. This person is going to just let people treat them however they want. And if you've been that person in the past, that's okay. But you can change that person, because only a chump and a coward is going to mess with somebody that stays to themselves, that doesn't bother anyone, that's quiet, that's calm, that's cool, that's collected. And it's okay to be that type of person, but you're going to have other sides of you to where you can stand up to these chumps. And that's really all it is. It's knowing that their energy in them is not more powerful than the energy in you. As an empath, you have the strongest energy. All right. As a chosen one, you have the strongest energy. There's nobody who has more powerful energy than you. Even these demons, you feel their presence. They got a strong presence, but guess what? The presence in you is stronger than that presence in them. So what you're doing, if you're being afraid of people, or if you're afraid to speak up, you're focusing on the wrong things. You're thinking about the worst outcome. You think if you stand up for yourself or speak up for yourself, somebody's going to knock you out and you're going to die, or somebody's going to pull out a gun and shoot you and you're going to die. Like, you're thinking about the worst scenario. You can't think about the worst scenario. Anything could happen. Anybody could hit you and you could die at any time. God forbid. Anybody could pull out a gun and anything could happen to anyone at any time. So it's no point in being afraid, because number one, you could attract these things to you. So like when people don't stand up for themselves, it's because they're stuck, they're frozen, and they're paralyzed because the things that happened to them in their past, and they didn't work on their mind, and they didn't work on how they view themselves and handling themselves in these types of situations. So you can't, if you have issues with standing up for yourself or sticking up for yourself or speaking to people who are confrontational, if you haven't taken care of those things or handled those situations, they're not just going to go away just because you get older. So you have to keep it real with yourself and be honest with yourself, and you have to work on that. And you're going to have to see yourself as somebody that can handle any situation. You have to see yourself as being tough enough to handle any situation, mentally tough enough to handle any situation. And people may laugh at you for these kinds of things. I know there's some people that may laugh at me or call me weak for making a video like this, but it is what it is. People got to grow. And if you don't accept, if you can't grow without acceptance. So if you don't accept where you're at, if you can't accept where you're at, then how are you supposed to change? And it takes a person that it takes a person with a lot of mental strength and toughness to be able to admit certain things. So if you want to change, you have to admit where you're at, so that way you can rise above that level. So you gotta admit to where you're at. All right. People that are calm and people that are cool and empaths and stuff like that, people who have good hearts, is when you're growing up and it's a lot of narcissistic people in your environment, in your family, in your neighborhood, schools and things like that. Like that shapes your perception. So if you have a lot of evil, negative people that you're growing up with, and they're not helping you or making you confident, and it's like if you didn't deal with it on that level at that age, unfortunately, it's going to carry with you. So basically, at any level to where you didn't stand up for yourself or handle things or just basically just let people know, that they weren't going to deal with you any type of way that they wanted to. If you didn't do that yet, and you have to at some point you're going to have to come to a conclusion to where you have to do that, because people are going to treat you how they want until you do, and people are going to see that you're still at that stage. All right, the world is a cruel place. People are going to see whatever stage you're at, and they're going to try things. They're going to try to get things over on you, unfortunately, but you don't have to do that. That's where you within yourself, you just say to yourself, you know what? I'm not dealing with this. I'm not putting up with that. This person would let nobody treat them like that. I'm not going to let them treat me like that. And it's weird that you even have to do things like that. It's weird and it's cringy because you're a good person and you don't expect to have to speak to people like that. But there's people like that you got to talk to. And you don't have to put your foot down on some people, because the people who think that they can treat you however they want, when you let them know that they can't do that, they'll back off. They'll back off. All right, people just want to see you stand up for yourself, and once you do, they'll leave you alone. Because if not, they're going like they think that they can keep pushing you and keep trying you. People think that they can keep pushing you or they can keep trying you, and then if you don't do anything about it, that's when you can get in trouble because you'll explode. So you have to handle things as soon as they happen. That's really what I've been looking for this whole entire video. You got to handle things as soon as they happen, and you have to let go of that fear of what may happen. Don't fear what may happen. Fear not standing up for yourself. Fear letting people treating you however they want. Fear letting somebody talk to you however they want, because if you do that, it's going to be open season and people think they could just come in and rain on you, and you don't want that. But the world we live in today is just a world to where if people see a weakness in you, or people see some type of something about you that they can manipulate or they can control, they're going to. All right, a lot of people don't turn to God; they turn to be wicked. They turn to wicked ways. So even though you're not the type of person that would do that, unfortunately, there are people out there that will. You're the type of person that will uplift people. You would help somebody if you saw that they needed an area of improvement that was detrimental. It's not like you just want to give somebody advice, but if you see somebody that's struggling in an area to where it's like, yo, somebody needs to tell this person something before something ends up happening to them, or somebody ends up using them or doing something to them that they wish somebody would have helped them and prevented. So that's really all it's about, and that's really all videos like this are about. So you just gotta find the strength in you, and that strength in you it lies within the God in you. So if you feel like you don't have what it takes, or you're not you don't think you have the courage to stand up for yourself, or you're not courageous enough to speak up to people, you gotta fix that, because somewhere along the lines earlier in your upbringing there was someone who stopped you from feeling comfortable, or something happened to where you didn't feel comfortable speaking up for yourself because of some fear, and unfortunately you carried that fear into the rest of your life. But the people in your family let that happen because that was a way that they were going to be able to control you. So it's just a generational curse. You unfortunately somebody may have done some spell work on you and casted you under the spirit of fear. They might have put a fear spell on you, so that way they could control you. You'd be easier to manipulate. You wouldn't fight back. All right, you wouldn't give them any problems. All right, this person may have been afraid of you. So what did they have to do? They had to make you afraid of them, so that way they could feel better around you, and they wouldn't feel bad around you. Unfortunately, some of the people in our own family are like this. They will treat us like crap, and they'll just like verbally abuse you, put fear in you, things like that. They'll try to block you from being able to speak up or stand up. They'll try to traumatize you, basically. So when you have experiences to where you want to speak up, or if it's an opportunity to where you have to speak up, this person may have traumatized you from being able to do that. Maybe they were older than you. They took advantage of you because you were younger. All right. It's a lot of sick things that happen, a lot of bad things that happen. You know, a lot of people don't, and it's like people don't care. People see these things happening, and they'll just let you deal with the bad treatment. They won't care, because if you were a scapegoat or something like that, then normally in a normal family, parents would step in and be like, hey, you can't treat this sibling like that, or you can't treat your brother like that, you know. But there are some parents, unfortunately, that will just sit back and just let other brothers and sisters or whoever just treat you however they want to treat you, because it allows them to gain that control over you. And they probably taught that child to do that. They probably taught that child that, hey, you have to treat them this way, because they wanted to see you suffer, and they wanted to see you not be as happy as you would, or not be as joyful as you would. In some cases, in some family dynamics, it benefits them to scapegoat a child and to make that child the issue for all the problems. And they'll take all the problems out on this child, make this child feel guilty, make the child be filled with fear, all right, make the child be scared to stand up for herself. A lot of weird things, you know. So it's like, you can't blame them necessarily. They did it. But if you blame them your whole life, you're just going to stay stuck. Oh, they did this. Oh, they did that. You are the one that has the life to live now. You can't blame how other people are treating you based off of how others treated you. So what you have to do is you just have to stop it. You have to speak up for yourself and stand up for yourself, and that's what's going to stop it. You may think that you're causing problems. It may be hard for you to speak up because it's covert, and it's like, how do you call somebody out on witchcraft? But you just gotta look them dead in the eye, and like, you could ask God to help you handle these types of situations and how to speak to these people, because it's like, I don't want to get nobody in trouble. I have my methods, but my methods may get you in trouble. Like, everybody, I feel, needs their own method on how to approach people and step to people. So I can make some videos on that. Until I make some videos on that I can be assured that nobody's going to get themselves into any trouble or anything like that, I'm not really going to speak on what I do. But what I will say is this: if you ask God to direct you to how to stand up for yourself and how to let people know that you're not going to take their shit, then he'll show you how to do that. And people could laugh, but that is a problem for some people. People could call you a punk. People go, oh, he's soft. He's this. You could call me, say whatever you want. Not everybody knows how to do this. Not everybody is good at this. Some people were taken advantage of in terms of when people were around them and they saw that they had a soft, sweet heart or whatever. When you were like 4 or 5 years old, some people screamed at you, yelled at you, treated you like crap, and filled you full of fear. And unfortunately, some of us were abused to where we were mentally mentally abused and screamed at and yelled at and treated like crap, to where we took this fear in us throughout our whole life, and we never stood up for ourselves because we were afraid of what may happen, because of how we were treated by people in our family. And I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one that had a terrible brother or a terrible sister that filled you full of fear growing up and made you afraid to stand up for yourself. And that's okay, because that you gotta find out where these things start at. Like, okay, I had a brother or a sister or a family member that kind of treated me bad or treated me like crap, or verbally or mentally abused me and made me afraid to stand up for myself or speak up for myself. All right, now that you got that out the way, don't go blaming your whole life on this person. All right, it's not, your whole life is not their fault. You can't blame the fact that you may not have stood up for yourself in your entire life on this person, but they played a part in it. to where you were afraid to speak up for yourself in fear of what may happen. So you have to lose that fear of what may happen. Nobody's going to hurt you. Nobody's going to do anything to you. If they do, they're going to have a price to pay. And if you're rolling with God, then you're going to have some God strength for their ass. All right, coming right back for them. All right. So once you roll with God and you roll with this, once you roll with God and you put on the full armor of God, your fear is going to start to melt away. You're going to start to have certain strength that you didn't have. You're gonna have the gumption. You're gonna have the fortitude. Okay, you're gonna have anything that you feel you need that is missing for you to take care of yourself and handle yourself like a full-grown adult. God got it to give to you. And unfortunately, a lot of us who have special abilities and who are good people, who are chosen, who are empaths, we didn't get a lot of things that we were supposed to be taught growing up. People didn't teach us how to set boundaries. People didn't teach us that we should be standing up for ourselves and using the word no and things like that. They wanted us to suffer and they wanted to have something to laugh at. A lot of your relatives wanted to be better than you, so they hid these certain things from you, so that way you would have lower self-esteem and your life story wouldn't be good starting out. All right, they wanted you to have a terrible life story. They wanted people to pick on you. They wanted people to bully you. They wanted you anything to make you miserable, anything to make you be lesser than them and not better than them. And unfortunately, it's just the way the cookie crumbles. You'll have people in your family who will gaslight you on this and say, you don't know what you're talking about. We took care of you, clothed you, fed you, did everything for you that we could have possibly done. How come you didn't teach somebody to set a boundary? Because they wanted to manipulate you and control you and take over your life throughout your later years when you're supposed to be living by yourself, confident, full-grown adult, doing things for yourself, believing in yourself, having your own. Unfortunately, there are some people who want to control you and control everything you do because even though they're your child, even though you're their child, they took care of you. They will only do it up to a certain point because they see you as an extension of themselves and they don't see you as your own person. So if somebody doesn't see you as your own person and they see you as an extension of themselves, what I'm saying is not that far off. So don't let nobody gaslight you about that. There are people who want to control you and keep you close to them, so that way your life can be a mirror image of what they feel you should be doing, because they want control over you to make up for some of the things that they missed out on or they lost in their life or childhood or whatever. They didn't get to follow their dream. They don't want you to follow yours. They didn't get to live a life that was good. They don't want you to live a life that's good. So it's a lot of selfishness. It's a lot of guilt tripping. It's a lot of mental abuse. All right, it's a lot of verbal abuse, and this is the way a lot of people end up with fear. All right, if you were verbally, mentally abused by any siblings, family members, then you know where I'm coming from. You have this mental fear, and unfortunately, if you haven't dealt with it, you have to deal with the root of it. You have to deal with the root cause. Not trying to blame nobody. Not trying to put anybody down for what they for the past, but what you did is what you did. How you treated somebody is how you treated somebody, especially if it's spilled out into adulthood. And this is how people just treat you, just yelling, screaming, like trying to put fear into you and make you think that something is going to happen when it's really not. This person is afraid of you. They're just using this yelling, screaming thing as a way to try to put fear in you and intimidate you. And if any of you have brothers or sisters that did that to you, you have some PTSD, you have some things you're going to have to work out and sort out. And if you didn't check your brother or your sister, this is why you have this same problem with other people out in the real world, where you have issues with confrontation. It's because with the first levels of confrontation that you had in your experience, you never check those. So because you never check those, it's going to be like a fear for checking other experiences. You just have to start checking that fear within you, and that way you have to start checking other experiences. So once you start checking that fear in you, once you stand up to that fear in you, because that fear is still there from those people that caused you to have it. So you got to go within, you got to stand up to that fear within you. You have to eliminate that fear within you for people like that, for those types of situations, and for that person still. And that way you'll be able to have more confidence. You'll be able to feel a more sense of strength. You won't feel anxious when you go out in the public. You won't be looking for somebody to treat you bad. You won't be fearful of other people when you're out in public, because these types of situations will make you fearful of other people when you don't check your fear of people. All right, so it's nothing wrong. Fear is nothing to be afraid of. The only thing you should fear is fear itself and holding on to that fear and not conquering it. You have the power within you to conquer every fear. You have the God within you to conquer every fear. You have nothing to fear at all, and there's nothing outside of yourself that can cause you to fear. It's your own mind making you afraid. You're making yourself afraid. You're making yourself afraid by thinking negative thoughts of your fear of what may happen to you. And you can fix all of that by working on your mind, telling yourself, I'm going to master this fear. I'm not going to let fear of this get to me, fear of that get to me, fear of confrontation, fear of physical contact, fear of standing up for myself, fear of speaking up for myself. Stand up for yourself. Speak up for yourself. God in you gave you everything that you need to be able to stand up for yourself and speak up for yourself. So that way you can get the same respect as that bad one over there, or as this delinquent over there, or as this knucklehead over here, or this a-hole over there. They're not the ones that deserve the respect you do, especially when they're just acting. These people are actors, some of the greatest actors out there, because believe it or not, it's a fear mechanism for them to act like that in the first place. They just take out that fear that they have on who responds to it. So when somebody responds to them acting afraid, that's fear. When somebody responds to that, like, then people are gonna, oh, there's my target right there. And if you've been somebody that was abused by people who treated you like that, yelling, screaming, and you're not doing anything about it because you were afraid and didn't know how to overcome that fear at an early age, or didn't know how to handle that fear at that age, and nobody showed you how to stand up for yourself, or nobody showed you to how to handle situations like that. They just expected it to pop up out of nowhere. Oh, he'll figure it out. Bullshit. People want to watch you suffer, and they want something to laugh at. A lot of you who are on no contact with your family members, who think that they're, oh wow, we haven't seen our so and so in a while, I wonder how they're doing. They ain't thinking like that. They laughing at your fucking ass. Ha 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 ha. We did them so bad they don't even talk to us no more. These people are crooked, and then when you get around them, they do that Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde shit, where they try to act like we care, but they don't. They don't. They only care about being better than you. That's what they care about. They care about keeping you in a lower state to where you don't feel great, to where they can bring that fake smile straight to your face and sing you happy birthday and offer you a slice of cake. These people are fake, man. They're sick. It is sick and twisted to do that. Keep somebody around that you really don't like, just so you can make fun of them. Like it's a thrill for them to have you around with how bad they talk about you behind your back. This is why they'll smile at you, and it's like, yo, why the fuck is this person smiling? And they're like, you're like, yo, what the fuck? It's because they're talking about you behind your back. And they're saying things about you that you're unaware of and that you don't know. They think that they're pulling the wool over your eyes. They think that they're playing you, and it causes them it causes them, it's amusing to them to play people. It's amusing for them to throw shade on people and treat people like that. Family doesn't throw shade on you. Family doesn't hate you. Family doesn't treat you like crap and then cover it up 5 seconds later. All right, a lot of these people are Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Abuse you, love you. Abuse you, love you. Abuse you, show you love. And these are the people who have the nerve to call you a coward because you ain't knocked their face off yet. And now it's to the point, once you're able to stand up to them, and once you could fight back, and once you're ready to fight back, it don't even mean nothing to you. It's worthless. It's no point. It's no point. It's not gonna make you feel any better, and it's not gonna make up for the time to where they abused you and treated you like crap. And on top of it, I'm telling you, it's not gonna make you feel better. So it is what it is, you know. Don't let it continue. All right, tell them this is where it ends now. This is where it stops now. They can laugh at you. Oh, ha, ha, ha. You've been watching some videos, or you've been learning, or you've been whatever the fuck they say. All right, whatever it's going to take for these people to just leave you the hell alone. You don't care if they respect you or not. They can laugh at you, make fun of you, all that. As long as they will just keep their peace and leave you alone, and they can say whatever they want about you behind your back, as long as they don't say it to your face. And if they do say it to your face, they're not going to say it so you can hear it. Because if they say it so you can hear it, then you're going to make it a problem for them each and every time. Even if you got to say something to them, then now you make them feel some type of way. And you shift the energy back. All right, a lot of times you could say you could say a smooth, smart remark back to people, right? To shift the energy. All right, to get them back to feeling angry and mad when somebody says something to you, to where it feels like you want to interact with them. But I really don't want to just like this. I don't want to make people think that it's not okay to um, it's not okay to say anything back. I just don't want people to retaliate. And if the type of situations that I be having and how I be feeling, it's just better for me to not say anything. This is why Drew doesn't say anything, because if we got to go back and forth and I got to keep saying things to you, eventually somebody's going to end up saying something to where somebody's going to feel some type of way about it. So you have to know yourself. You don't have anything to prove to people. So honestly, if you want to say something, you can, but in all honesty, it's really best to just let these people just destroy themselves. All right, if there's nobody around, of course, then yeah, you can say anything. But people like this, they'll tell. All right, especially if it's at work or something like that. If it's at work, you should opt to just not retaliate, not say nothing back, not do nothing. If you can catch somebody in the bathroom, if you can get them in a corner, pull them to the side, and be like, yo, you keep bothering me, you already know what's gonna happen. All right, it's not gonna end well for you. All right, you can do that to people if you want, but people will tell on you. They always tell. People end up getting fired and lose their job, but it's like, I said what I said to them, no, but now you're in the unemployment line. So that's why these people are cowards and they're chumps. All right, they pick on people that mind their business, that are quiet, that don't say nothing to them. All right, they think they can get off on people however they want, especially if they see or sense that this person is somebody that's not going to stand up for themselves or stick up for themselves. And a lot of times that's the only reason why they're bothering you, is because they know that you won't stand up for yourself, or they think that you won't. So all you have to do is do that. And by standing up for yourself, all you got to do is find that courage. All right, you got to find that strength, and you find that strength by eliminating that fear. If you could stand up for yourself, you would already have the courage and the strength. So if you can't, there's some fear blocking your ability to do that. You have to remove the fear blocking your strength and courage, to where you can feel like, you know what, I'm not going to let this person stand up to me or talk to me like this. There's something getting in the way of that, and that something is fear. And you got to go into your mind and uproot that feeling of fear and replace it with courage. You got to replace the feelings of fear with courage. All right. So I don't need to make this video any longer than it is. These people are chumps. All right, we're eliminating a lot of fear. All right, you got to get rid of this fear. It's a blockage. It blocks you from growth. It blocks you from love. It blocks you from life. It blocks you from living free and being free and manifesting, feeling comfortable. All right, feeling confident, having self-esteem. These are things that is everyone's birthright. So if somebody is making you feel afraid, you really need to start attacking it. You really need to start getting close to these people. I'm gonna get close to you and get like up in their face kind of thing, because it's gonna come to a point to where it's like, yo, you trying to make me feel afraid, bro? Like, yo, what's up? Yo, you my new best friend. What's going on, man? How you doing today? I'm good. What's your name? Yeah. Okay. Well, look, let's like, you're gonna start to take control of the people who are in your environment that are trying to make you be afraid of them. And that's really all it is. You are going to start taking control of the people in your environment that are trying to make you be afraid. You're going to start speaking up. You're going to start speaking louder, standing up for yourself, because people aren't going to respect you when you're like, hey, hi, how are you? This is my name. How are you today? I'm coming here to work. I don't want to bother anyone. I just want to do my job and go home. Nobody respects people like that. As much as we would like them to, they don't. So you're going to have to make them respect it, because you don't have to change, but you will have to give people a different version of you just to get them to leave you the hell alone. It's like you may gotta turn your crazy on. You may gotta turn your crazy on. You may gotta act different. All right. You may gotta do some things that make you look stupid. All right. And whatever comes to you spontaneously, just do it. You may feel uncomfortable. You may feel crazy. It's better to look crazy than to have people think they can mess with you. I don't care if you pull a Hey Arnold on them, whatever the hell you do. All right. Whatever spontaneously comes to you at that moment. They could call you weird, but you're just being yourself. Out in the wild, nature, animals, they just do whatever the fuck comes to their mind. Scratch, lay off a scent, whatever it is. You don't see a bear calling a skunk a punk, Oh man, you a punk. You just hit me with the skunk smell, man. You scared. You just sprayed me with your smell and ran off. Ain't none of that. All right, however you got to make people respect you or give you space or respect your personal space, whatever you whatever you got to do. All right, and you think like people can laugh at that or just be like, yo, what the hell is this guy doing? But stuff like that'll make you feel comfortable. They may think you're crazy, but they'll respect you and you'll feel comfortable. You'll be comfortable. So whatever you got to do to make, all you're doing is making yourself feel comfortable. And when people can tell that you're uncomfortable, they're going to pick on you. They're going to bother you because they feel that they can, because they're going to feel that there's nothing behind them bothering you. They're going to feel that there's no consequence or nothing that's going to happen, or you're not going to say anything, or they're not going to get checked, or they're not going to get made to feel uncomfortable. All they're doing is they're pushing pressure on you and putting the energy on you. All you have to do is figure out how to put that energy back on them. Okay, they're trying to push this energy on me. It's not mine. It's unwanted. I don't like it. I don't need it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push this energy back on them. Whether I got to look at them, whether I got to stand up, whether I got to spread my shoulders out and let everybody know what was really good with the situation, That's really all it is. Like, people could laugh, ha ha ha, whatever. People could say whatever they want. All you gotta do is get them to back down and leave you alone. You ain't got nothing to prove. You ain't got nothing to prove, but you got everything to lose. So just get people to leave you alone. Get people to get up out your face and get up out your space. And if you could accomplish that, you're good. If they want to walk off feeling like the real deal, Holyfield, the illest killer in vanilla, whatever they want to feel like, cool. Just feel that way over there. You want to be tough, tatted up, or you want to be tough and street and whatever, and super this and extra that, and whatever you want to be. I'm just letting you know that me and my frame and being confident in myself and having no fear, you can't do that stuff around here. So you're gonna have to take that over there. You're gonna have to do that away from me. All right, I'm gonna have to make you do that away from me. We're gonna have to make sure that you do that over there comfortably in your own little spot, in your own little corner, because you ain't gonna do that over here, bro. You ain't gonna do that over here, sis. Not in my space. Why does that? Well, you're not gonna do it over here, and you just gotta stand firm, and you gotta stand tall. And when you do that, people will realize that okay, this person just want to be left alone. And people will leave you alone. You stand up for yourself. You tell people what it is. You approach people when they're by themselves, by yourself. You approach people like, hey, yo, I see what you like. Yo, chill. You need to chill out. You need to stop that. Just approach people however you feel comfortable doing it. When you approach them, you put your little Lord forgive me, you put your little thug fizzle on it. All right, people will fall back. Put your little thug fizzle on it and people will fall back, y'all. All right, you don't have to. The one thing about people who act tough 24/7 is that people think twice about checking them. People will think twice about trying them. So even though you may not have a personality to where you straight up tough 24/7, because you a chill person, you like to chill. You just need to have that side to you to where you don't have to act like those types of people 24/7, but you got to have a side to you like that to let people know that you can get like that if you need to. All right, you gotta let people know you got other sides to you. People are stupid. They're slow. If they don't see you acting a certain way, they think that you don't have that in you. So you may have to let them know, however that is, that you have that in you. Like I was talking about a few seconds ago. If you gotta act crazy, who cares if the pretty girl with the nice smile and that looks so fine at the job thinks you crazy? She might like it. She might like it when you go, leave me alone. And people just be like, yo, I ain't bothering him. She might like that. People are too worried about how people are going to take them. You can't worry about how people are going to take you when you got a world of people who are trying to that you got to defend yourself up against. The squirrel's not worried about how the female squirrel looks at him when he got to claw a hawk, or he got to claw whatever he got to claw. All right, whatever you got to whatever your defense mechanism is to get people to leave you alone, that's what it is. They shouldn't have bothered you. It's like walking up on a female, getting tased, and be like, what the hell? You shouldn't have walked up on her. You should have let, she spray painted your face. You should have left her alone. So when people bother you, you got the right to do whatever you want to do. You got to, this is the action scene. All right, you can act however you want to act, as long as it doesn't get you in no trouble, as long as you're not going to get yourself incarcerated or put behind bars or locked up or thrown in jail. All right, I'm not telling you to go hurt nobody. All right, I'm not telling you to let nobody hurt you. Obviously, I'll never tell y'all that. But y'all get what I'm saying. All right, y'all get what I'm saying. All right, just to get people to back off and leave you alone, you got to do what makes you feel comfortable. And it does. However, people could laugh at you, say whatever they want, whatever. I bet you they'll back up and leave you the hell alone, and that's all you want. All right, that's all we want, and that's how you will achieve that, by just being yourself and being comfortable, and not being afraid to act. All right, so don't be afraid to act. Sometimes you literally have to act. All right, sometimes you gotta act like you Denzel, or sometimes you gotta act like you whatever. All right, but don't be afraid to act. All right, lose that fear. Whatever, feel the fear and do it anyway. And whatever you're afraid of, you have to attack it. I believe it was Ralph Waldo Emerson. He said, attack your fears. When you feel afraid of something, attack it, and the fear will leave you. All right, whatever you feel afraid of, attack it. You're afraid of someone, walk up and introduce yourself to them. Walk up and introduce yourself to that bully. And then if they act like they don't want to speak to you, then that's your opportunity. That's your opportunity to move in on them, just like they might have been trying to move in on you. All right, so it's basically all just about like feeling out the energy, feeling out the vibe, seeing what you have to do just to get people to leave you alone. And sometimes you gotta outmatch these people with energy. That's all it is. You gotta raise up the energy in you, which is greater than the energy in them anyway. And that's why they're trying to come up against you in the first place. It's like a baby. It's like a baby puppy playing with the papa dog. The papa dog always gets bit on the ear or scratched or attacked or tugged on by the little baby puppies, and that's what they're trying to do with you until the big dog just and barks and scares them little mugs. All right. So that's really all it is. They're just waiting for you to react. They are afraid of your reaction. So if you can react in a way that doesn't take too much energy from you, but it doesn't make you look like, okay, this person is just this person's afraid, but just react, not react, respond. All right, we're not going to say react, but respond in a way to where these people know you mean business. These people are slow. Respond in a way to where they'll leave you alone. And you could do that without getting yourself in trouble, just by checking them and matching their energy. Whatever energy they're coming in, you come with the same energy. Check them with the same energy that they're coming with. That's what I'm saying. You can't come at them like they're grandma. You can't come at them like they're a good brother when they're not. You can't come at them like they're being a good person when they're not. Somebody's coming at you. What up? What's up? What's doing? What? What's going on? You like, just all you gotta do is act crazy back. You know, they could take it serious or not. But the more you feel comfortable, the more more they're gonna fall back. All right, so you could do whatever you got. That's what I'm saying. Whatever you got to do, look crazy. It's okay to look crazy. I bet you'll feel comfortable though. So when people start to make you start to feel some type of way, you got to attack that in any type of way that'll make you feel comfortable at all. Jumping jack, push up, whatever. I don't care. Whatever you got to do to make yourself feel comfortable. Take a deep breath. All right, ground yourself, center yourself. That always works. A lot of this can just also be taken away with a deep breath. Take a deep breath and you'll come back to your senses. All right, you'll come back to a grounded sense of self. You'll be able to think clearly. All right, and a lot of people will be paralyzed because they can't think clearly. You need to remember to breathe in these situations. When your heart starts pounding and you start to feel the anxiety, or you start to feel uncomfortable, just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, and that will alleviate a lot of these issues. All right, that way you'll be able to think clear. You'll be able to act how you would want to act. You're not acting off fear. You're acting off a calmer state of mind to where you're confident, because now you could think clearly and you could act on your thoughts better when you think clear, when you're not running off of fear. All right, which is something that'll paralyze you, keep you stuck, blocked, and held back. All right. So I just want to thank everybody for watching this video. All right, hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe. All right, we're getting rid of fear for the rest of this year. All right, I'll see everybody in the next video. Peace, love, and life. We out. Druuill out.